The role of journaling in Stoic practice. Long ago, in the crowded streets of ancient Rome, a man named Seneca sat down each evening with a simple piece of parchment and a pen. He wrote not for others to read, but for himself. His words were private, a conversation with his own mind. He asked himself questions, reflected on his actions, and reminded himself of the lessons he had learned. This practice, which may seem small, was one of the most powerful tools in his life as a Stoic philosopher. Journaling was not just writing for Seneca. It was a way to examine his day, to see where he had failed, where he had succeeded, and how he could improve. The Stoics believed that philosophy was not just about ideas, but about living well. And to live well, one must understand oneself deeply. Journaling was the bridge between thought and action. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear mind. You know what you must do, what you must avoid, and what truly matters. This is the gift of journaling. When you write, you slow down. You take the chaos of your thoughts and put them in order. The Stoics called this the practice of prosoc, attention to oneself. Without it, life passes by in a blur of reactions and emotions. With it, you gain control. Every night, Seneca asked himself 3 questions. What bad habit did I correct today? How did I improve? What mistake did I make that I must avoid tomorrow? These questions were not meant to shame him, but to teach him. The Stoics knew that progress comes from awareness. If you do not see your faults, you cannot fix them. If you do not celebrate your growth, you may forget it. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, also kept a journal. His writings, now known as Age Meditations, were never meant to be published. They were his private reminders, a way to strengthen his mind against the difficulties of ruling an empire. In his words, we see a man constantly training himself to stay calm, just, and disciplined. His journal was his gymnasium, where he exercised his character. How does this apply to us today? The world is faster now, louder, more distracting. We are pulled in many directions, and it is easy to lose sight of what matters. But the practice of journaling remains just as powerful. When you write, you step out of the rush of life. You create a space for stillness, for honesty. You begin to notice patterns, your fears, your excuses, the ways you betray your own principles without realizing it. A Stoic journal does not need to be complicated. You do not need beautiful words or perfect sentences. You only need truth. Start with simple questions. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? What am I grateful for? These questions guide you toward virtue, toward being the best version of yourself. One of the greatest enemies of peace is the untrained mind. Thoughts come and go like storms, and without reflection we are carried away by them. Writing slows the storm. It helps you see that many of your fears are illusions. Many of your worries are exaggerations. The Stoics taught that most suffering comes not from events but from our judgments about them. When you write, you expose these judgments. You see them clearly, and then you can change them. There is another benefit to journaling. It helps you prepare for the future. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They imagined the worst that could happen and asked themselves, how would I handle this? By writing these reflections, they were never caught by surprise. When hardship came, they were ready. Your journal is also a record of growth. Life is long, and change is slow. Some days it feels like nothing is improving. But when you look back at your old writings, you see how far you have come. You see the struggles you have overcome, the lessons you have learned. This is why Seneca wrote, we should every night call ourselves to account. What weakness have I mastered today? What passion opposed? What temptation resisted? Some may say they do not have time to journal. But the Stoics would ask, do you have time to live without clarity, without direction? Writing takes only minutes, yet it saves hours of confusion and regret. It is a small daily practice with lifelong rewards. The pen is a powerful tool. It turns thoughts into something real, something you can see and examine. Without writing, ideas stay vague, floating in your mind where they can be ignored or forgotten. But when you write, you confront yourself. You cannot lie on paper, not if you are honest. So tonight, take a page from Seneca. Sit quietly with your thoughts. Ask yourself the hard questions. Write without fear, without shame. This is not for anyone else to read. It is for you. And in time, you will find what the Stoics found, that the examined life is the only life worth living. Journaling is not just about words on a page. It is the practice of paying attention, of taking responsibility for your own mind. The Stoics knew that the outer world is often beyond our control, but the inner world is ours to shape. And the first step in shaping it is to see it clearly. Start tonight. Write one sentence, one reflection. Do it again tomorrow, and the next day. This is how philosophy becomes practice. This is how wisdom becomes life.